In an age of relentless fights for yardage, in the muck and grind of the trenches, there are 5 men that will bring salvation to the offense. 5 men who will decide the fate of the world, of their team. Men of courage, men of strength, men of valor. Men who epitomize the blue-collar mentality of the Steel City. Alejandro Villanueva, Matt Filer, Marquise Pouncey, David DeCastro, Zach Banner. Together they create one of the strongest offensive lines in all of football. Together, they are the Men of Steel.
Big shout out to Urinating Tree for providing the intro to this video. And if you like this video and you like my content, think about hitting the subscribe button and make sure you tap that like button to help my videos on the YouTube algorithm. Let's get into this breakdown with the Pittsburgh Steelers in their last game against the Dallas Cowboys. Now, as you all know, the Pittsburgh Steelers fought back, got the win against the Cowboys, and we're going to start this off in the third quarter. And with them trying to establish a drive to get some points and to get themselves back in the game, Pittsburgh basically went to their passing attack. And as usual, we identify our 4 down linemen, we identify our linebackers. This is obviously a nickel front, as the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be in a shotgun. They're going to have multiple receivers out throughout the course of this half. And we're going to take a look at what the O-line did here on the end zone cut of this play. Now, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they have a offensive scheme that really does protect their offensive linemen. They get their balls out quick, a lot of quick passes from them, and it keeps their offensive linemen from being exposed too long in pass protection. Now, on this play here, the pocket is solid to start, but as you can see, our left tackle, 78, he leans forward when he's going for his pass protection, when he's trying to get a punch, and his defensive end makes a move on him. He recognizes that he's leaning forward. He changes his direction, gets inside of him, and he's able to actually get a hit on Ben Roethlisberger here. One of the few times that they got clean hits on Big Ben in the film that I looked at. Generally, the Steelers have a pretty good sound technique from everything that I've seen with their O-linemen. But here, a little bit of lapse in his protection technique, and that does end up getting a hit on the quarterback. Now, this very well could have been an interception and should have been an interception, but luck would have it that the Cowboy defender was unable to catch the ball. Go figure. So they get by with that one. Offensive line, that's on you. And now the Steelers are punting. And now we're back. This is the second drive for the Steelers in the second half. They come out with the empty formation here. As usual, again, we identify our down lineman. We identify our linebacker. And with this play here, we're going to see, again, that the Steelers are able to get balls out of the quarterback's hand relatively quickly. It keeps their offensive line from having to hold protection for too long. And they're going to get a big play here from Smith-Schuster. And we'll see what the O-line did in the end zone footage after this. So here we are, empty set, 4 down linemen, and like a broken record, you're going to hear me say it all the time in these situations. You got to watch out for games. If you're offensive lineman, defensive line is going to move around, going to try and make it hard for the O-line to pick up different kinds of stunts. We got a clean pocket here. Again, the Steelers get the ball out quick, don't have their linemen having to hold up protection too long. Roethlisberger gets it out in a hurry, and it allows for a clean pocket and a big play. This is an explosive for the Pittsburgh Steelers here. All right, so after the big play to Smith-Schuster, we got another empty set here, and this play, again, is another kind of designed to get the ball out quick for the Steelers, but on this route, on this play, Big Ben's going to hold the ball a little bit longer, going to give us a little bit more time to actually break down what the O-line is doing here. I think it's important on this play specifically because this offensive line shows some really good awareness in how they handled the defensive line's stunts in the pass protection here. And I think it's worth taking time to really break this down. Now, one thing first off that I really did like on this play, looking at it initially, was the left tackle and the left guard. they vertical set here. That's a perfect job of setting on a vertical path so that you can stay on the same level with your guard in case of a game. Now on the right side, we did have a game from the end and the defensive tackle. We had an ET where the end penetrates and the tackle rotates around, loops around to the outside. And here on this play, the right guard and the center actually were very aware of it. They set flat and they were able to flatten out that defensive end, keep him from getting any pressure in Big Ben's face. Good job there by the O-line for the Steelers. Now here we are again, another empty set for the Steelers, and the front from the Cowboys, you've got two really wide three techniques. They're outside of the guards. That's where the D tackles are aligned. Defensive end are aligned. The defensive ends are aligned wide as well. This is a big red flag for any offensive line. When you've got wide shades like this from D linemen in a clear passing situation, you've got to be aware for games. You've got to be able to adjust. You've got to be able to pass those games off. And again, on the left side of the line, you're going to see a good vertical set from the left tackle, 78. You're going to see his guard staying on the same level with them. They've got help from the center, from Marquise Pouncey as he's sliding with the left side of the line. And the right side is going to be one-on-one. So it's going to be paramount that they are able to handle any kind of games on the right side. And again, vertical sets from both sides of the line. They have a great pocket for Big Ben. They do get a little bit of push from the left, but not enough to really alter how Ben Roethlisberger is trying to get a pass off. But I mean, they have great technique. I like the way that Pittsburgh handles their blocks. These guys get their hands on guys. They keep them flat. They keep them from getting penetration for the most part. And it works for them on that play once again. Now this play here, another quick throw by the Steelers, but I think it's important to look at the line on this play, and we'll check it out from the end zone. But our right tackle here oversets a little bit. You're going to see it when we get to the end zone cut. He does give up the inside move to the defensive end, and if Ben has to hold that ball any longer, he's going to get hit. There's a chance that he could get hit. There could be some pressure there. But again, the scheme is what helps protect the offensive line with the Steelers. They get the ball out quick. They don't give defensive lines the time to actually get a proper pass rush. And we'll look at it here on the end zone. 76 is thinking the right thing. He's got a wide defensive end. I would think maybe a little bit vertical here, and he does, and he widens out, but he doesn't use his hands. He doesn't engage with the defender until he's already making a move to the inside. He's overset him, and you want to be careful with that, because if the quarterback has to hold the ball for any period of time longer, that could lead to an undesired result, maybe a sack, maybe a hit on the quarterback as he's releasing, but you definitely want to clean that up, make sure you don't lose that guy to the inside. Now this play here is probably, in all of the film that I've broken down for different offensive lines, I haven't seen an offensive line handle defensive games as well as this line handled it on this play. We're going to wait until the end zone cut to really break it down, but they got stunts from both sides of the defensive line here, and they handled it really well. And we're going to look at it here. I'm going to get into detail about how they picked it up and why they picked it up so well. The technique here that they used is one that most offensive lines are taught to use when they're taking on defensive linemen in this kind of situation. So the key to handling stunts in this kind of situation, empty set, nobody in the backfield, no running back, no tight end, you're going to get a TE from both sides of the D line here. And the key to handling this is to make sure that you stay on the same level as an offensive line. On both sides, you have to recognize the stunt and you have to flatten back into the line of scrimmage to pick up the penetrator, which both tackles do here pretty well. That allows for their guards and for the center to prepare to take over that looping defensive end. And they keep these guys flat on the line of scrimmage. They don't allow for any push into the pocket. And that's really the goal that you have when you're trying to take on defensive linemen in this situation. They cover it well, they get on top of their defenders, they get their hands engaged, and it creates an excellent pocket for Ben Roethlisberger. He throws a dart right on the money, and that's the kind of results you can have when you have good protection, when you have an offensive line that understands the situation that they're in. All right, so this is the definitive play. This was the crucial play that extended the drive for the Steelers. on a somewhat flimsy roughing the passer call. But hey, you know, it happens in the NFL sometimes, and you just got to roll with the punches. But in this situation, this is made possible by the offensive line. So even in a bit of slip in awareness here by our right guard, allowing for that linebacker to sneak up into the gap late in the protection, it actually works in their favor here. But let's break it down, looking from the end zone. Now, what's going to happen here is the right guard has got to have help for his right tackle on the inside. He has the center coming with him, so he takes a peek. Looks at his tackle, but isn't aware and seeing that 54 is adding on for the blitz here. He's a little bit late reacting to it. That allows the linebacker to slip into the gap. That happens, you know. It's not something you want to happen, but it does happen. Now, I think the tackles do a great job here running their defenders past Big Ben. He's able to step up a little bit and make that throw. You know, you get beat on the edge sometimes, and to save it, you got to run guys past the quarterback, give them a chance to step up, and Ben is able to do that there. Now, with that penalty giving them new life, Steelers are going to make a big play here. And part of the reason why they make a big play is because they get big blocks from the boys in the trenches, the O-line. Let's check it out from the end zone. But here, as you can see, empty set again, really keeping the Cowboys in a predictable defense. Now, a little bit of leakage late in the protection, luckily doesn't affect the throw that Ben was making, and they get a big explosive out of this that puts them in position to win the game. Now, looking at it from the end zone, you're going to see a TE stunt from the right side. Defensive end's going to loop inside, and you know the left guard has to be aware of that. He's late here. He got too caught up in his block, sending the D tackle to the left tackle, and now you've got that loop from the DN. He gets to it late. He's aware of it, but he's not able to actually react to it in time. But lucky for him, you've got a quarterback that gets the ball out of his hand, and in this play, he gets the ball out, and the O-line lives to fight another play. You know, these kind of things can happen from time to time. Players can leak in against the best of offensive lines, but they're able to handle their job there and keep him from taking a hit. And this is the game-winning score from the Steelers, as most of you already have seen. But we're going to take a look at the O-line here. I think the O-line, again, does a good job in their technique, understanding the situation, getting their hands on defenders, redirecting them, keeping them from making any kind of true impact on the play, keeping the pocket secure for the quarterback. Now, it's not always 100% clean, but it's a good job here in maintaining their blocks, keeping guys held up, being aggressive with their hands. I see a lot of this from the Steelers in this film. These guys are really well coached, and they understand what they're trying to do. They get their hands on people. I think Pouncey here overdoes it. He oversets. He does actually lose to the inside here because of his overset. Too aggressive there. He's an aggressive player, so you know that kind of thing can happen from time to time. But the Steelers O-line, good job here, and they go in for the score.